Hey everybody, hope you're all doing alright out there. Today I want to talk about subscription systems, and no, I am not talking about something like Netflix where you pay money to get access to something, that you don't own, and I'm not talking about like Patreon where you pay extra money to a channel to help support it and make it possible and get extra exclusives and all sorts of things, like this one. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about buying a physical piece of property, a piece of technology, such as a headset like this, and then them charging you extra to actually use it properly. I have talked about this in the past because this is something that happens with KTM motorcycles, Zeros very famously recently, although people ignored the fact that KTM had been doing it for a long time, BMW cars, stuff like this. But anyway, Cardo headsets, systems for motorcyclists, they recently decided they are also going down the subscription-based system, and it's been a fantastic example to talk about how this system can both perfectly make sense and at the same time make no sense whatsoever. This one is really old. This is made by Cardo. Here's another example. This is made by Cena. These are motorcycle headsets, and what you do with these is you plug them onto the side of your helmet, you've got speakers inside and a microphone, and it gives you the ability to listen to music, use your phone while you're riding, answer calls, listen to radio because it's got radio built in. You can talk to other riders who've got one as well. So if you're, for instance, two people riding together, whereas in the past you'd have to go, where are we going? Point this way, point that way, trying to get each other's attention, which is quite risky. You can just talk to each other the whole time. Plus, it's more entertaining. If you've got someone on the back of your bike, it's much easier to say, oh, hold on, we're going to go out to a corner or something. It's just, it makes things a lot easier. Plus, I love listening to music when I ride a bike. So that's what these things do. And up until this point, as far as I've known, they've all worked like the Cenas, where you buy it and everything that it can do, it can do. Well, Cardo's decided to come in and bring a subscription-based system in for one of their new headsets where you basically unlock tiers of features. Now, at first hand, you would say, well, that's just ridiculous. If I've bought this, it should do everything I need it to do because I've bought the physical equipment. But what they're charging you for is software developments. But they're not new software developments because this stuff's been around for ages. So let's just have a look at their website and see what the categories are before we carry on. This is just for context in this discussion. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about here, the Pack Talk Custom. Just to be clear, my understanding of the pricing of Cardo's previous headsets has been they were around $350, say. But you would always find them on sale somewhere for about $300, and if you bought it with a helmet, you could get it as little as like $250, something like that. And that's pounds. This is showing up here at $280, which is about 250 quid-ish. So this is the standardized unit that you're going to get. And from my understanding, that will work on its own with its core features without you paying any money each month, just like the old ones. However, this is where the package deal comes in. You want music sharing, 3 audio profiles, or speed dial, then you pay $19.99 a year. So it's an extra $20 on top of your purchase price. But remember, this isn't forever, this is per year. So if you don't keep the upkeep of this payment after a year, you're going to lose those features. The gold package gives you universal Bluetooth intercom, Bluetooth bridge, second channel connection. Second channel connection, what does that mean? That better not mean just talking to someone else. Anyway, music sharing, blah, blah. So it's the same as a silver package plus the gold package. And then for the platinum package, you get voice commands, which honestly you don't want. Eco mode, which gives you an extra 20% battery. And then you can see it's the same things as the previous ones. First thing you'll notice is that it says silver, gold, platinum and not bronze, silver, gold. That's because if you have bronze, you're considered a loser if you come in third place. And socially, companies know this, so they can't try and sell it to you like you're a complete sheep. And it works, so I understand why they do it, but to people who do realise what they're doing, it's very off-putting. So, you could have just called it 1, 2, and 3. You could have done something other than trying to turn it into some sort of tier-based social system hierarchy. I know it's not what it's trying to do. This is it's like if you're in a race, silver, gold. You don't get platinum for winning. You get gold, and third gets bronze. So I realised I didn't mention the prices. If you didn't see them at the bottom, it's $20 a year for the silver, $30 a year for the gold, and $40 a year for the platinum. And obviously that's only a yearly thing. You'll have to pay that every single year. $40 per year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7 years and you buy a new headset that way. What's really surprised me about this though is they are charging for up to $40 a year extra, $6 a month, $7 a month, they haven't offered any extended warranty or anything like that with this package. Now, admittedly, you have things like the GoPro subscription, which is supposed to replace your camera without any problems, and I was under the impression when I had it that they would replace a camera for free, but that's not the case. They just sell you another camera cheaper, but it's still very expensive. So, I mean, if it's faulty, they will replace them, yes, but it's not the thing you thought you got. No questions asked camera replacement is not no questions asked discount on a new camera. That's, yeah. So the idea of this is that you can build, instead of having like Model A, Model B, Model C, you can have just Model A, which has all of those features built into it, and that makes building the product cheaper, which should bring the base price down for the, for people who can't afford so much. Well, great, now they've got a cheaper option because it's there. Maybe they wouldn't use all the features, but if they do want them, they can later pay for them, and if they find that they don't need them, they can take them back. And the other thing is, some of the features, particularly for Cardo here, are extended stuff like more battery life. That eco mode suggests you get more, 20% more battery. And it's like, right, so what are you saying? Are you saying that you run it with a system of software which is 20% less efficient? Or are you saying that you get to 20% battery and then you say it's dead? Because if you're saying it gets to 20% battery and it's dead, but it's not actually unless you have the subscription package, I can think of scenarios where someone might be, in the middle of a valley, had a crash off-road, wants to call for emergency help because they can't get to their phone that may be in their back pocket, maybe their arms are broken, their legs are broken, they're pinned on the bike, whatever. They can't get to it. They could use this though, hello, call this person, but it doesn't do it because you haven't paid for a subscription system. It's very tricky. Cardo may not consider this life-saving equipment, but I would say that a phone call can save your life. So, yeah. I mean, BMW have been known to do this for a long time, and they're doing things like heated seats and all sorts of actual physical things. At least for the Cardo system, it's software. There's nothing extra in here than there is in the fully unlocked one. So e-waste for them isn't really an argument to have to argue against, but there are other companies that, as I say, like put heat seats in their cars, then you don't get to use them. That 100% is a waste that was not required. Even though it's cheaper, it's still more impactful to the environment, and that should count more than the making it a little bit cheaper. There is sort of a metaphor for this, is that you go into like a restaurant and you order a big roast, like special roast dinner package, and they do a silver and a gold package, and the gold package gets pigs in blankets and sauces and all sorts of extra bits and pieces, and you order the silver one because you're not fussed about those bits, and they bring it all to your table, and they still bring over the sauces and all the stuff you get in the gold package, but they've got locks on top of those pots, and because you haven't paid for the gold package, you've only paid for the silver package, you don't get to use those features, those ingredients, and then it all gets thrown in the bin at the end. That is the equivalent of buying a car or something with physical hardware in it that you're not using. So I am torn. I can understand that you could make the base price of something cheaper so everyone could get into the game, and then people with a bit more money could get the features they want and they can come and get. I get the selling point, but it stinks. Unless it's having to use a system, maybe you've got a graphics card which runs at a certain speed, but if you pay an extra amount of money, it can do a little bit of online processing using their servers, and that makes it a bit faster. Forget the plausibilities of that, but imagine that was a thing. You'd be like, well, okay, I've bought this and this does this on its own, but I can make it do more if they do a little bit of computing power. So this is where I say, if it's software, if it is actual R&D, I can understand why it works out and it makes sense to charge people more for the the high-end one and less for the low-end one, even though they've got the same sort of stuff inside, but there's a software difference. And this is why this Cardo's one has really got me on the fence. I can't decide whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, because I will say, from my experience of using this Cardo headset and Sena headsets along the years, I use this for music and talking to my other half when either we're riding together or she was in the back of my bike. I will occasionally take a phone call when I'm stationary, or if I'm in Tesco's, for instance, we were going to have pizza for dinner and I need to call Rena because they haven't got any of the pizzas and I want to ask her what she wants. Rather than taking my helmet off and all that stuff, I can just be like, bloop, call her up, hey, so what should we have for dinner? I haven't got that pizza. That's where it's really handy, but they're the only features I use. This can do mesh communications where it goes from person to person to person to extend the range. It can do music sharing and many other things and voice commands, but I can tell you now, voice commands are an absolute nightmare. So in the case of the Cardo, other than maybe not being able to call out on that last emergency situation because you haven't got access to that 20% or it used it 20% faster, there's a life and death issue with this, but generally that's not going to be a problem for these. For cars, it tends to be climate control things, nicer things, rather than like, airbags. So that's why, depending on what this subscription-based system is, I'm either, okay, I get it, not really keen of that, and I'm dead against it. But my generalised perspective is we need to be vocally against the idea of doing these things because we are going to end up in a situation where we just don't own anything. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Like the button if you liked it, and if you want to support this channel, please consider doing that through Patreon. That is a subscription-based system, but you actually do get extras with that. You get Patreon exclusives, and you get videos early and ad-free. Anyway, until the next one, bye-bye.